Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
And welcome everyone to this week's edition of Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rance alongside Joel Davis as Sports Shorts each and every week is presented by LeBears Casino in Baton Rouge. Hope everyone is having or had a happy Mardi Gras. As we tape here on Mondays, Mardi Gras in full effect. Nice and cold for Mardi Gras. Oof.
Yeah, it's a little wind chill. Somebody left the AC on outside.
Well, so you thought when you saw on the calendar Mardi Gras was going to be in March, that on Mardi Gras Day it was going to be nice and warm. Not the case. But anyway, nonetheless, happy Carnival and got the Lenten season coming up. I don't think you grew up Catholic, but did you?
Yes, I did.
You did grow up Catholic?
I went to
Okay,
Catholic
there you go. So
school
much
and
we know
St.
about each other.
Paul's. And
So what are you going to give up for Lent? Are you one that
I'm not
observes?
that Catholic.
You're not that. You
Right.
you just have like the library card, but you don't use it. That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
I'm Catholic, but I'm not a practicing religious person. Let's say, I do the right thing. I'm not like that off.
You don't need to get so
the
defensive.
rails.
I just wanted to
Well,
know.
I
just asked you, what are you giving up?
I mean,
for
what are you
Lent?
getting up? What are you getting up? Hair?
Well, I mean, I have no choice with that.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it
I think
easy.
the Lord made that choice for Lent permanently.
What are you giving up?
I think what I'm gonna give up for Lent is something. It's kind of.
It's got to be something tough. It's got to be something that's really, really hard. How about gambling for you?
That's easy though, because I only do it in the fall. Only
Okay, well,
do
then
it
it
during
can't be that.
football season.
How about ladies?
How about you stop being ridiculous and let's go
Stop
with
being ridiculous.
I think I'm gonna go with something that most people do when they give during the Lenten season.
You're gonna
right?
give up like fried fish.
They give up something that's beneficial to themselves that they should give up all the time anyway, right?
You're gonna give up fried food.
So for 45
slushies.
days, I am going to give up
Okay,
bacon.
Now that's being ridiculous. Like that's next to women. Like bacon women, that's like 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You got your girlfriend. You can't be like, you know what I'm saying?
Bacon. Bacon is legitimately, and a lot of people out there might not think that that's a tough deal or a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
But for me, if you were to see my refrigerator,
Ronnie, you know how
we're
much bacon?
loaded down with bacon. We're
You know how much
ready for the
bacon I ate
bacon
this weekend?
apocalypse.
Do you know how much bacon I ate this weekend?
Yeah, a lot.
Dude, okay, so I'm not even joking. So my wife will cook up a whole thing.
A whole pack of bacon.
A whole pack
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
might
She'll
as
maybe
well.
eat like 2 strips.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, everybody just have fun. I mean, great wife. Great wife. Just that alone is quality.
It's worth keeping her around.
Because let me tell you something. If I
She'll
cook,
cook a whole pack of bacon.
do you know how long it takes to cook bacon in a
That's
in
why
a
I do it
skillet?
in the oven. That's why I
No,
do it in the
dude.
oven.
It's no different. It's so much better in a skillet.
I got away.
Anywho, I ate 22 pieces of bacon yesterday.
You were counting.
Yeah. And then we're not spending money because we're building this house, right? So we always meet my parents at Frank's to eat lunch on Sunday.
And get them to pay.
No, I always pay.
Oh, okay.
Always pay.
All right.
You think I'm so cheap, but family, I'm different. So I only drank a cup of coffee, and my mom gave me her bacon. So I had more bacon. I ate so much bacon. So don't do that.
No, I'm
There's
doing
some-
it. I'm doing it because I mean that's what Lent's all about, right? It's about sacrifice, and unfortunately, I don't sacrifice as much as I should. So therefore, I'm going with bacon. That's going to be a true sacrifice for me this year.
That is the truth. I agree. That's
and I hope he appreciates it.
dude. Of course he is.
All right.
If he knows you, I couldn't do it. I could not give up bacon.
All right, I'm hoping it changes my skin complexion or something at 45 days of no bacon. It'll be the first 45 days of my life
Bacon's
with
actually
no
good
bacon.
for you.
Not as much as I eat. I don't
Like
think.
I ate 22 pieces of bacon yesterday. What could you have thrown back?
I'll usually eat a half a pack of bacon. I don't know how many strips are in a traditional normal pack
Probably
of
like-
bacon.
Probably like 24.
Okay, so I depending on the pack, I probably will eat at least on average 4 to 6 strips a day. On every day. You know what
Do
I
you
mean?
take a little packet with you when you leave, like eat it like beef jerky throughout the day?
No.
See, I'll do that.
But I'm a 325, 40 to 45 minute, depending on the thickness of the bacon, in the oven. I don't do the pan. It splatters, hits you in the eye. It's a mess.
That's a lot harder to do it that
Joel
way.
Davis, Ronnie Rance. Okay, now we'll get into sports.
That's
Lots
kind of sports. I mean,
lots to talk about here on Sports Shorts, and that is if you are an LSU basketball fan, these are good times. The Tigers
God, they're so good, man.
in some of the polls and whatnot after their big win on the road at Alabama, after the way Tennessee dominated Kentucky and the way other things shook up around the country, there's a lot of the bracketology that has LSU a number 2 seed and 3 seed.
Just stay away from that 2 seed.
You know, a week or so ago, most of the bracketology had them a 4 and some a 3. Now it's a 3 and a little bit of 2.
I'm good with staying at a 3. I'm not sure I want to be a 2. You know how 2s get upset. 2s get upset. They do. You know, this is.
I mean, so you're like the superstitious guy.
very. Absolutely.
Don't step on the chalk line, walking on the baseball field.
Ronnie,
all that
it's
kind of
I live that way. Like, I always put my left sock on first, my right sock on second, left shoe on first, right shoe on second.
I mean, it's a
Tie my left shoe.
You literally think about
I
it.
can't help it. Yeah, it's a done deal. Yeah. Yeah, just
Wow.
like when the Rams fans were complaining about the referees that they were getting in the NFC Championship game because they had they didn't have a lot of good success against Bill Vinovich's group leading into the game. They were complaining about it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I knew that was going to bring up some issues in the game, and it did. It brought up some issues in the game. So yes, I'm very superstitious when it comes to sporting events.
By the way, speaking of the Rams Saints playoff game and their officials and referees and all that, there was a Mardi Gras crew down in New Orleans
Crew d'etat,
who is always known for timely floats that are political or have something to do with the times of the day. And obviously, the Crew d'etat was big on Roger Goodell spoofs. Here's some video of the Crew d'etat just the other day down in New Orleans, and it's pretty unbelievable. Here, we're playing this for you. We'll go full screen with it. I don't know why the surface has
there
a
you
little
go. There it is.
shadow on it. Oh, there it is. That's a little better on my laptop. It looks weird.
This was great.
But look at all the referees. That's the Stomp 64 or 72 or whatever they are. The guys, marching crew down there dressed up as Roger Goodell or
what
as
is
officials.
that? What is that official call right there? I mean, I know that one. That's a timeout. That one's the first down.
Direction.
That's first down. That's pass interference. But the other one, what was the other one?
That's the Italian sign for nice job.
Gotcha.
Look at the back of the referee.
I love
They've
it.
got the Roger Goodell clown faces.
Fantastic.
I mean, okay, that's not. But we're gonna keep it. Look what we got here.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother float. So that was just the men's marching crew.
Right.
Now we have a whole float that they.
I mean, they put this
spoofed
together in like
a few weeks.
It's crazy.
I thought this was fantastic.
The mask with the flag. I mean,
see
this is
nothing.
all
I
over
got
the internet.
screwed.
Right. This is
Are
all
you
over the internet.
blind? I mean, this is fantastic, and I'd love to know what Roger Goodell's thinking back in New York City.
He doesn't
when
care.
Sees
He's making
this
$40 million a
I
year.
I gotta believe he's gonna laugh, right?
Yeah, he's laughing.
Don't you think?
He's laughing while he's counting his money. Dude makes $33 million a year. He's like,
Those
Those
peasants
people-
in New
those
Orleans.
people-
This is so funny.
oh, at my expense.
I'd like another bottle of Silver Oak, please.
Right.
So we've got. So anyway, we'll change
That was
this.
great, by the way.
That was fantastic, and there were a lot. By the way, there were a lot of Roger Goodell references in the parades in New Orleans, but none went to that level. Right? They
Right.
literally had 2 floats and a marching crew that
Still don't know
spoofed
that
Roger Goodell.
that signal that they were doing. I know. I figured. Yeah, that's timeout. That's pass interference. That's first down. I didn't know what that.
You didn't know that.
I didn't.
You know
I
that
didn't
one?
recognize
Charge?
that one.
Is that a charge?
It might have been an up yours.
Holding.
Is that an up yours? Okay.
Maybe up yours. But speaking of up yours, did you see? I mean, the combine right now, the NFL combine. I mean, They get way too close and personal, by the way. But this thing is drug on. This is going to be this combine's longer than the draft now,
Right.
Which is way too long already, like 3-4 days, whatever the draft is. But I mean, Indianapolis has got to be loving this. NFL Combine just goes and goes and goes forever. But
Yeah, but there's no fans. There's no like people in hotels.
I mean, but
bunch of coaches.
Do we literally need to have a day for just tight ends or a day for
it's
just
tight ends.
linebackers?
It's tight ends, offensive
I mean,
linemen.
I get it, but I mean, it's
And then
just ridiculous.
Well, there's one day for defensive backs. Like that's all there is today, which is a Monday. And that's all there is defensive back. That just shows you how many defensive backs there are. Every other day, it's a combination of positions. Like yesterday was defensive line and linebackers, quarterbacks and wide receivers, and then the day before the offensive linemen, tight ends, and then today just defensive backs.
What was
Maybe they'll throw some kickers.
What
in
was
there.
your reaction, Devin White?
He killed it.
A 4.42 as a 230-something pound linebacker, only 6 foot tall.
It doesn't matter.
We knew he was going to run a good time, and this guy was a top-ranked running back coming out of high school up in the Shreveport area. So you knew, he's not your normal linebacker. But if there was any doubt that Devin White wasn't going to be a top 10 pick in the league, he's now top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Now, who knows what? I mean, this guy killed it, fastest linebacker time this year, and one of the fastest ever.
Well, not only is he fast, he's instinctive. So take another few tenths of a second off of his time because he's just so instinctive. He's such a good reader, can read plays as they develop. And so, his 4.42, as well as his instinctive nature, makes him the top linebacker in the group. Now, will he turn out to be the best linebacker in this group? I don't know. There's a lot of talented guys that were running 40s yesterday that were bigger than him, that had pretty close to his times. But overall, that entire Saturday numbers were stupid. I mean, the defensive linemen that were running, the kid from the defensive end from Mississippi State, Sweat. That dude, 6'6", 300 pounds or 260 pounds, ran a 4.5.
Right.
It's insanity. Can you imagine being an offensive player right now? When these guys get any knowledge of the game under their belt, that's what you're playing with. It's just the league is just getting bigger and faster, man, and it's getting bigger and faster every year. I was watching Twitter, and there's guys on, some tight ends were tweeting out, oh, my God, I better get back to the gym. You're true. You got to constantly work because these kids are coming in, and they're coming in hot. They're coming in fast and big.
Well, it's the Skip Bertman, the legendary coach, used to say the Roger Bannister pressure barrier. Okay, and what that story represents is Roger Bannister was the first ever man to break the 4-minute mile. He was from England. Went on, become a doctor. He actually lit the cauldron at the London Olympics a few years ago. Roger Bannister, that before he broke the record for the 4-minute mile, people didn't know if it was humanly possible. They literally thought the body couldn't go that fast. Like,
Right.
You might just drop dead if you ran that fast of a pace. And when Roger Bannister finally did it, when he finally broke the world record and ran a 4-minute mile, over the next 365 days, like 20 people broke the record. Right? Once he finally accomplished it and people around the world realized, oh, okay, wait, it can be done, and you don't die. And it took that built-in pressure off of you. It opened the floodgates, and then people have passed, and now there'll be high schoolers that are great that could break that. That said, to me, the combine is like that, and you know what else is like that? Throwing 90 on the mound if you're a pitcher. When I was playing ball, and I know it seems like forever ago, but it was only 20 plus years ago. 25 years ago at LSU, and a little shorter than that in the minors. If a guy threw over 90 miles, I can remember being in the dugout in LSU in their first national championships, 91 and 93, and if a guy threw 90 plus, like that was the dugout was buzzing. That was like, hey man, this guy's throwing 92 today. Who? You took notice. You were top step.
Right.
You were watching. You were paying attention. If a guy hit 95 on the gun, it was like, holy crap, this guy just threw 95. Like, we got our work cut out for us today. Dude, 90 plus happens all day long in college baseball now. 95 happens more frequently than ever before. And my point is that it's the barrier, it's the bar. Kids grow up training real. I gotta throw 90. Like it's not an option. Like you have to throw 90 if you want to play in the big leagues. So the training's better, the coaching's better, the mentality is such that it's not hope to touch 90. It's I have to. It's just where I gotta be. And I think that's how it is with this combine stuff. The coaching, the information, the technique, drills, everything, the training. Some guy runs 4.7 this year. The guy's got to run 4.69 next year. It's just going to continue. But the question that I have, and we talked about it with Richard Dixon and Jacob Hester on Hanging with Hester last Friday, is how important is the 40? Realistically, how important is it, and why does the 40-yard dash determine your value as a football player? Richard Dixon said he's pretty sure that, it started as a drill back in the day for trying to find, 9, 10 guys that were good in punt coverage. And because the average punt was about 40 yards back a gazillion years ago, that's what it was about, trying to identify people that could run 40 yards downfield quickly and put those guys on the punt team. Well, why does an offensive lineman need to run a 40-yard?
Well, no, this is for TV. This 40-yard.
But we put a lot of stock in it. Like Devin White's crying on the phone talking to his mama and his people because he knows I put my stamp on being a top 5 pick because I ran a 4.
Well, for some positions it does matter. It does matter. A linebacker. If you have to chase
to 40, like there should be other drills.
There are other drills.
I know,
you got the 10-yard shuttle.
That's the only one anybody talks about or cares about. I don't even know what a good shuttle time is.
Well, it's different for every position.
We don't talk about it.
It's different for every position. Right. For example, Nick Bosa. 3 or 4 years ago when he came out, he did the 10-yard split. The 10-yard split for a defensive end is the number you want to look at. 10-yard split. How far does a defensive end go to get to a quarterback?
10 yards,
About 10 yards. So a 10-yard split from him, I think he hit a 4.68, which is awesome.
A 0.468.
4.6. A 4.6 seconds. It's a 10-yard split that they do. It's a drill that they do. Just Google it. You can understand it. 10-yard split, he had 4.6 seconds in a 10-yard split, right? Well, his brother, Nick, just hit 4.55 seconds in a 10-yard split. So Nick Bosa just went elite number on a 10-yard, which means explosiveness in a short amount, an area, short area. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for really low numbers in those 10-yard splits and the 20-yard shuttle. But for a lineman, that's more along when you see those lateral movements that they do at the combine, that's what they're looking at there. Like you would probably do real well with that, with those lateral movements. They lay on the ground, they have to jump up, and those are drills that they actually do during summer camps. The 40-yard dash is just something so they can chart everybody, right? Like you said, for special teams and stuff like that. But you definitely want to see what a cornerback can do for, in my mind, a 40-yard dash. There's a lot of running. A lot of vertical running in cornerback's world, but there's also a lot of, you better have some lateral quickness as well.
So what would be a drill that Joel Davis would have done well in?
I think I would have done well in the passing, just nothing else.
In the passing?
In the passing, accuracy and just throwing the ball to receivers that I'm not familiar with.
Well, I just think there needs to be
nothing else by the way.
The days of a guy, an offensive lineman, or defensive lineman ever running 40 yards and it making a difference so much in a game. Believe me, if a defensive lineman's got to turn and run 40 yards to go chase a running back,
it happens.
It can happen. But even if, I'll give you an example, a running back runs a 4.6 40 and a defensive lineman runs a 4.7 40, which are both okay times for both. 4.6 is going to be 4.7. It's not going to even matter.
No, but they're
I just think the 40-yard dash is outdated.
I agree with you. Now it's for TV. Everybody wants to see the 40s. Like for wide receivers, the gauntlet that they run. I'm talking about where they stand between two quarterbacks right, and then they run down the 35-yard line. And they got quarterbacks on each side throwing them balls. That drill is huge for a wide receiver because if you watch, I watched a couple receivers that on their 40 didn't look that great. But then when they ran the gauntlet, they were smooth. They caught with their hands. It separated them from some of the guys that ran like for example, I'll give you a perfect example. They keep talking about this Fant kid from Iowa, the tight end.
Right.
Let me tell you something. They're
Freak
saying
of nature
he's
athlete.
a freak of nature, ran a 4.4 whatever in the 40. He can't catch a cold.
Right.
And they're talking about this guy getting in the first round. I said, I wouldn't. If I'm the Saints, I wouldn't touch him in the second. Because what are they, you need he's great. You can run up the center of the field and you can stretch a defense, but if you ain't gonna catch it,
Right.
what difference does it make? So they're just blowing this guy. I would take his teammate over him who ran like a 4.7.
Blowing him up with praise.
His teammate, the white kid, big, goofy looking dude, ran a sub 4.7. I mean, maybe a sub 4.8, 4.78, somewhere around there. But in the gauntlet and the route running tree and catching the football, he was smooth. Like, I'd take that dude 10 times over the Fant kid.
Right.
But watch. The numbers, all these people are going to talk about the Fant kid. But when he gets to the NFL and he can't catch the football until like year 3, well, by the time he can actually start catching the ball consistently, and it will never be natural, he'll be on his second contract. You'll get nothing out of him the first couple years. Literally nothing.
Bizarre.
I wouldn't touch him. Wouldn't touch him.
Look, the combine is so interesting. I think some teams put more value into the scientific numbers than others. Others put more into the interview or the pro day or whatever the case may be. I just find it intriguing that the NFL, and give them credit, they have figured out a way to just milk this system. This combine is longer than Lent. It's
people watch it too, man.
Yeah, and they've now, like the draft takes 3-4 days. I mean, they've just managed to occupy more days on the calendar. There's 365 days out of the year.
It's good for football
and
fans.
the NFL has figured out, how to stretch it. And oh, by the way, we're not talking about the AF. You know what I mean? Like, that's going on. Nobody talks about the AF.
Nobody's talking about it, but if it's on, I'll watch
You
a
will
little
watch
bit.
it?
I'll watch a little bit of it. I mean, I won't watch a full game because I'm not bought in. But I will say this: each week it gets a little bit. The players are becoming a little bit more familiar to you. You're starting to identify the uniforms a little bit more rather than who's playing. Okay, it's the blue and the silver team. Who are they? You're identifying who people are. You're identifying who the teams are. You're identifying the fields a little bit more. So now you're starting to buy in a little. You're getting a little bit more. Like, I'm buying in a little bit more, but I still won't watch a full game.
He's Joel Davis. I'm Ronnie Rance. Sports Shorts, as we're presented by LeBear's Casino. By the way, over at LeBear's Casino, this past Friday, March the 1st, they had Three Doors Down in concert acoustic. And I heard that it was absolutely fantastic. The room was packed. They put on a great show. They're playing a few of the smaller gigs like this to kind of get ready for their world tour and things that they're lining up. But if you were in the room, if you were in the building at LeBear's for Three Doors Down this Friday, March the 1st, you got a chance to see something real special. Sarah Evans will be in that same room in April. If you can get tickets, all you got to do is download the LeBear's Baton Rouge app for free on your smartphone, and you get hotel rooms, you name it. We'll be over there in a week or so with Red Zone Fundraising, doing some meetings. But LeBear's Baton Rouge is a proud sponsor of Sports Shorts. We'll take a break and be back right after this.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your Vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess. And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rance.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports Shorts, presented by LeBear's Casino. Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis here with us. Don't forget to listen to Sports Shorts Radio every Saturday morning from 10 until noon, and ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. That's 104.5, 104.9 FM in Baton Rouge. And, of course, if you're watching us in New Orleans and Lafayette, you can check out Sports Shorts by downloading the ESPN Baton Rouge app on your phone, and you can listen to us in the huddle. That's download the ESPN Baton Rouge 104.5 app on your phone. You can listen anywhere in the country. LSU baseball, wow. What a difference a week makes.
Jeez.
I mean,
it's been coming.
They went from #1 in a couple polls. They were 8-0. Granted, they hadn't played anybody. And if you saw anything more than the scores of the games, you'd realize that all was not well in La La Land. The Tigers now 8-3 after they were swept over at Texas. So many things happened in this series that are troubling for the Tigers. And I'm not going to, look, this is not knee-jerk reaction. Oh, you lost 3 and you're reading into it too much. No. There's so many things that this is going to be Paul Mainieri's toughest year as a coach. And what I mean by that is, and he was at #1 or #2 in the country in all the polls. Every single poll out there, #1 or #2 in the country.
They ate the cheese.
They were ranked the #1 team in the country last year. Last recruiting class this past fall. So all that said, the expectations are high. It's Omaha or bust, and for some people, they feel like it's national championship or bust. I'm of the belief that it's Omaha or bust. Once you get to Omaha, there's some fortune involved, and if LSU just always ends up there, I'm fine with that. Eventually, they'll break free. You win some, you lose some. Well, this team is going to be Paul Mainieri's toughest season because of those expectations, and because he has a number of things he has to address. There's a number of issues wrong with this team, from offense to defense, and even on offense, defense, special teams, offense, defense, and on the mound. And so he knows it's Omaha or bust, and it's going to be a struggle for this team at times this year. Now, if you put a gun to my head and ask me, do I think LSU will get it all right and fixed and end up at the College World Series, my answer is yes. I do believe that more than not.
Put that on the record.
I do. I believe that more than not, because the reason that they were #1 or #2 in a lot of polls is they have, on paper, tremendous depth. They have options. This guy gets hurt, we got somebody else to turn to. This guy's not getting it done, we've got somebody else to turn to. So on paper, they have that depth. I think this will be an unbelievable wake-up call for LSU this team, maybe the cockiness factor, let's sweep under the rug all the problems that we had because we're 8-0. This will be an interesting week for Pulmonary and his team as they get things straight midweek and get ready to take on the Cal Bears this weekend.
It was a good wake-up call for them. Let's put it that way. They've been kind of playing with fire the first few games of the season, having to win some games late, hanging on to some wins, and they couldn't even hold on to a Sunday win. I mean, they had the lead in the Sunday game and let that slip through the fingers.
They were up 6-3 going to the 8th inning.
Yeah,
they elected not to throw Devin Fontenot in the 8th and Peterson in the 9th, which was kind of the thought. They were talking about it on the broadcast, which was Keith Moreland, Ben McDonald, and Greg Swindell on the Longhorn Network. And they talked about it. They instead elected to take Peterson and stretch him to a 2-inning save situation, which I hate. Whether it's LSU, whether it's Major League, I hate taking a closer who's normally a 1-inning guy and extending him to unnecessarily, right? We just see that go wrong a lot. And with a 3-run lead and all Peterson had to do was get 6 outs, he gave up 4 runs and they lost. They got walked off. I mean, everything that could go. They gave up 9 free passes on Friday. 9 free passes and walks and hit batters. On 11 or 12 on Saturday. Then they did a better job of throwing strikes, and then their closer gave it up. They're All-American, 98 miles an hour in a gun he hit last week. Couldn't shut him down. And oh, by the way, the offense was atrocious. I mean, Antoine Duplantis, 1 for 10. Sal Garza, who was being compared to Brad Cressy before the start of the year, shouldn't even be in the lineup right now.
Ate the cheese.
I mean,
a bunch of young guys.
A lot of bad at-bats. They scored 2 runs in an inning. There was a 3-3 game. They had the bases loaded, no outs, and they get 2 runs. And on paper, you think, okay, well, they get 2 runs. No. If you were to see the at-bats and how they should have got 8 runs that inning. Antoine Duplantis, he's going to be the all-time hits leader. Bases loaded, 1 out. Pops up in foul territory down the third base line. It looked like the speed was too much for him all weekend long. And then Brant Broussard, who's 100 pounds soaking wet, pops up to the shallow center instead of bases loaded, no outside, hitting the ball on the ground, go the other way. It's just unbelievable.
You know who you sound like
it
right
was.
Now? You sound like Snoop Dogg talking about the Lakers. Did you see that rant?
No, he went off on it.
Let me tell you something. Snoop Dogg's such a poser, dude. He's such a poser.
No, he's a legit big-time Laker fan, though.
I understand that. But the way he talks, he does realize.
Like he knows.
Well, not only that, but does he know he hasn't lived in the hood in 30 years?
Yeah, he's in
He lives in a mansion in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, he was in Vegas. Remember trying to get his son.
I mean, it's just. But when he goes on these rants and stuff, and the way he talks about other people, it's really. I call him a poser, dude. He's a poser. But that's who you sound like. You're not a poser. Because you're a baller, and you didn't really go back to your Alexandria voice when you did it. So
I didn't go to my Paul Stanley voice,
right? But would you do that?
No, I'm not. Right? I'm not in the Paul Stanley lead singer Kiss voice mode. But by the way, I will say this about Snoop Dogg: he's a legit Laker fan. Has been a long time. He was in concert in Baton Rouge at the Varsity about. I'm going to go with 6 years ago, something like that. And Les Miles went to the show. Gordy Rush took him and another guy, and they were standing along the wall, and I went over there and said, hey. And Les had met Snoop Dogg at some Rotary function or some kind of downtown, luncheon thing one time where they were speaking. They kind of hit it off. He invited Snoop Dogg to come out to practice. Of course, the players loved it. So the next time he was in town, Les says, I want to go see the show, So he comes to the show, and of course, I'm in the Varsity. I see Les and Gordy and go over there, visit for a minute. The Varsity smells like I'm in a
doobie,
in the middle of a doobie. Like I feel like I'm rolled up in the papers.
In the papers.
And, that's how strong it is. And I'm laughing because there's Les, and he's probably got half his team that's up in the Varsity. And Snoop Dogg did not come on. Let's say he was supposed to come on at 10. He did not come on the stage till after midnight.
That's so disrespectful.
And it was like on a Wednesday or something.
So disrespectful.
And the reason he didn't come on because he didn't want to come on to the Laker game was over and that they had the win wrapped up. And the game was close. It ended up going overtime. So he stayed on the bus eating Raisin Canes and smoking doobies. And then finally, when the game was final, he decided to go do a concert. Les didn't make it to the concert. He stuck around, and finally about 11:45 or so, he waved the white flag and set him out. Tell him I said hello and,
Right.
and took off. But anyway, so that's
Did anybody else leave?
No.
Everybody's
It's a good show. It's a good show.
You stayed for the
I
show?
stayed. Absolutely. Good show.
Gordy stayed for the show?
I suppose. I don't remember. I mean, do you want a RSVP list of everyone that was there?
Well, you were there. I mean, you and him are boys. I figured
mean-
maybe y'all had a doobie together.
Yeah, no, didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Okay.
Drug-free zone over here, guarantee. I don't even know where we're at. Where we're at.
We were talking about, did you smoke a doobie or something? Did
No,
you just
no,
lose
I'm
your
just-
place?
I'm just.
You were thinking about Doobie Night. No, we were talking about Snoop Dogg and the fact that you were talking about LSU baseball and you were ranting on them, and I said you remind me of the rant that Snoop Dogg had just put out
there
on
you go.
Twitter.
Thank you. We're
There you
bringing
go.
it all the way
There you
back.
go.
Bringing it
You
all
didn't
the way
think I
back.
could remember that, did you?
This LSU baseball team has more concerns, but if you try to nail it down to what the biggest concern is, they have to. Paul Maneri's going to have to eat crow in this Zach Hess comment.
What did he
Zach
say?
Hess comment about before the season how he's going to be my Friday starter the
It's
rest
over.
of the season, the whole year. Forget about it. This is now. He didn't make it past the fourth. Zach Hess did.
What's going on with this kid?
He's a reliever. He's a guy that can come in, grunt, snort, throw as hard as he can with a sharp breaking ball, and be dominant for an inning or two. And there's nothing wrong with that. He can make a nice career living doing
I
that.
agree. Do they have a Friday night starter then?
Not currently. Not currently. They're going to have to put a guy in
Number
there.
one in the country.
But as far as like All-American, Nola, Gosman,
nothing.
Lang type dude.
No.
Right now, that guy doesn't exist.
Did they win a championship with any of those guys?
No.
Good luck this year.
They did with Coleman.
It's
and
been a while.
Renato.
They don't have that guy either, do they?
In 10 years.
Do they have those guys?
Not yet, but I think they have a chance to develop those guys.
Okay.
I mean, look, as much as I don't like the idea of, I'd like to think that Zach Hess is more than a setup guy, or maybe he's the closer. And Peterson said, I don't know. Peterson proved he couldn't be a starter. That's how he ended up in the bullpen.
Right.
He had success the second half of last year, but didn't pitch in a regional, by the way, because he had a sore arm. He had success as a closer the second half of last year. But so do you? Hey, Peterson, we're going to give this a shot again and move you back. But he doesn't really have a changeup. So there's a lot of things to be concerned about, but a lot of things to like.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the idea of having Hess and Peterson
on the back
as the
end.
backside of your
That's great.
for 2, 3, 4 innings potentially. Like, come on, how can you not like
I
that
agree.
prospect? Walker did some nice things as he's getting back, right? Eric Walker, All-American 2 years ago, missed all of last season.
Heard he was throwing like 81.
Yeah, he's not going to throw real hard, but he didn't throw real hard before. But my
he
point is
wasn't
that
throwing harder
he's-
than 80.
He's getting back there. He's doing some things. He's having some success. Hilliard was a nice surprise for a couple of innings. That was a guy I wasn't sure was even going to pitch this year because he had a mystery arm illness as well. So, it may look a lot different.
Yeah.
You didn't have Hill this weekend.
Yeah.
They sat him out as a cautionary deal. He made the trip. He was throwing normally in warm-ups, and people that were, thought, all right, he's got to. It's just they're going to have to reshuffle the deck, and things are going to be different than what they thought maybe a month ago about this LSU baseball team. But here's where I still have the belief. They have so much depth, so much talent, so many options. It may be ugly the first couple of months, but I do have faith that come April, this team's going to be much better than it is right now. And
We'll see.
it will look different than it does right now.
I think it'll look different for sure.
Yeah. He's Joel Davis. I'm Ronnie Ranch. You're listening to Sports Shorts presented by LeBears Casino in Baton Rouge. We'll take a timeout. We'll talk a little LSU hoops when we return.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess. And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
There it is. Fans. This is reminding folks of the great years of 2006 when they went to the Final Four. It was a fun year in 2000 under John Brady when Stromile Swift, and they made it to the Sweet 16. And then you got to go all the way back to the early 90s when you felt like you had a chance to make a run under Shaq. But this team for LSU basketball this year, after their big road win against Alabama, now find themselves 14-2. Tied with Tennessee, first place overall. Kentucky is third in the SEC after getting blown out at Tennessee.
Jeez.
Now LSU, their big test is their last game they play at Florida. That's going to be fun. I mean, the second to last game they play at Florida. Be interesting to see how they do. Florida beat them. Waters had a bad game.
Yeah.
Now can you go on the road, a team who's got a good recipe for getting you? Can you revenge that loss? If they beat Florida, at Vanderbilt, who's terrible. So
I mean, even if they split the last two, because the Florida game is on the road, I mean, but I'll tell you what, man, they haven't lost on the road yet.
Yeah, they're 8-0.
So they are
8-0, I believe. Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time
8-0
an LSU team has gone undefeated on the
on
road?
the road in the SEC?
Never.
I mean,
I'm sure it's happened, but
yeah.
it seems like maybe never. So they have a
They
chance
play
to
less games too. You know, now they play 18.
Right. They have a chance to do something very special this year. And I'm still telling you, man, you know my boy Javonte Smart, who keeps showing
Why is
up.
he your boy?
Because, dude, I've told you, he's my dude. Actually, my dude, the dude that I'd want to hang out with, and the dude that I would like to be friends with is Skylar Mays.
Yeah, I mean that's a steady dude right there.
I mean, you're gonna learn something from this kid,
Yeah.
not only in basketball, but
he
gonna
seems so mature,
very
and
mature,
level-headed,
smart,
and such a good leader.
He's gonna be a doctor. So then you got that in your back pocket, man. Can you look at this? So we're pals, you know. Like I got this little thing. Can you check that out for me?
You got a thing.
Well,
you mean
everybody-
like a cyst on your knee type
No,
of deal?
no. Well, he's probably gonna be an orthopedic surgeon. I mean, I would assume
How
he's
do you
gonna
know that? You
I
don't
think
know
he's
what
gonna
kind of
probably. I
surgeon
think
it's
he's
gonna
gonna
be.
probably stay in the sports world. Why wouldn't he?
But
That's
you don't
his-
know.
I don't know.
You've never met the guy.
Even
in
if
your
he's
life.
a brain surgeon, at least I can be like, dude, I got this thing. My brain's not working real good. My point is that's the dude I want to be pals
You
with.
want to be friends with him so you get free health care. I mean, that's basically what I've discovered.
It's pretty
You
much.
know, like, wow.
Well, no, I mean,
what a
that-
great guy you are.
that-
What a good friend.
I mean, can you blame me?
He's
I mean,
like,
I'm
honey, the
self-employed.
Davises invited us over for dinner. I'm sure I'm gonna have to check, Joel's red bumps on his body and see what they are. I think I would just rather go pay for my meal. Thank you, sir.
But he doesn't know that. I mean, come on, we're pals.
Yeah, you'll bamboozle
I wouldn't
him a
ask
couple
him
times.
maybe the first year of being friends. By the way, anytime like any type of dermatologist or dentist or any of those guys join brass, they just get worn out. I mean, it's just like we were on the middle of the basketball court. I remember we had this dermatologist in our club, and I mean, we messed with him so hard. I mean, it was so bad. I mean, he couldn't be like between quarters, and we'd be like showing him things on the sideline. Hey, can you check this out?
Right.
So, yeah, I would take advantage of that if we were pals. There's no doubt about it. But I would give it 6 to 7 months into our relationship before I asked him for the first look-see. But I told you I like Javonte Smart as my dude is because I told you, who would you pick? You want Naz Reid or you want Javonte Smart moving forward? In every game, Javonte Smart keeps proving me right. You, Henry Hayes, Double L Lloyd, the intern. He's not an intern anymore. All you guys think Naz Reid is what you would want in the future.
As a draft,
I don't care.
Guy,
I don't care.
For the NBA.
It doesn't matter. I think Javonte Smart is a dog. And I think that dude, his ability to play defense, his ability to take it to the hoop and finish already in the SEC. As a freshman. When Skylar Mays he looked complete and as good as he is now. Imagine how good this kid's going to be in 2 or 3 years. If he makes the same leap that Skylar Mays made in 2 years, if Javonte Smart makes that same leap, he's all-world NBA.
Yeah, but they started at different points. That's not a
It
fair
doesn't matter.
analogy.
You're
can't
missing
say-
yes, it is a
when
fair
When
analogy.
you're at a lower level, you have a bigger ceiling. I mean, Javonte Smart was a 5-star player coming out of high school who was, anybody in the country would have taken him. That's not the case for Skylar Mays. Heck, he had to go to prep school. But the point is that
all I'm saying is if he makes the
Javonte
same
Smart
leap,
was already a really good player. He's just taken his game and adapted it to college.
you can argue with me all
quicker.
you want. You can argue with me all you want, dude. He wasn't playing these guys at Walker High School, wherever the hell is Scotlandville High School last year.
Scotlandville.
He wasn't playing these dudes at Scotlandville. So my point is he's adapted quicker. He's adapted in year 1, and he can take it to the hoop. He can shoot the 3. He can play defense. He's a 3-way player, bro. And Naz Reid hasn't proved that he can do anything really yet except hit the 3 every once in a while. He's great at the free throw line. He's got fantastic moves that he really can't do. I'm trying to figure out where he fits in the NBA right now.
LSU number 13 in the poll right now. That's irrelevant. The question just becomes how can they get the highest seed possible? Most people
3, stay at 3.
If they win out, they'll go 16-2 in the league, win the SEC championship, and obviously if they win the SEC tournament, they're going to be a number 2 seed. But how can they not win the SEC tournament and still be a number 2 seed? I think if they make it to the finals, they'll be a number 2 seed if they're the regular season SEC champion.
I'll either want to be a 1 seed or a 3 seed. Real quick.
Just because of superstition.
Yeah, superstition.
You're like a Chinese gambler. Like you just
pretty much.
You're just certain numbers that are.
That's exactly right.
Stuff.
That's exactly right. Did you see Cole Beasley wants $20 million guaranteed?
Well, we're talking about flip the script. All right, the wide
Well, we only got
receiver
like
for-
5. How many
We
minutes
gotta
got left?
go. We gotta take a break. We'll
All
be
right.
back and we'll let you have the Cole Beasley conversation.
And I want to talk
Final
about Antonio
segment coming
Brown
up
too.
next.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess. And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Welcome back to the Sports Shorts final segment. I want to make sure we get to this because this was one of the most bizarre topics of the week. Antonio Brown, the outstanding all-pro wide receiver for the Steelers, who's demanded basically to be traded. Still don't quite understand what the heck happened. This guy's making gazillions. He's got a great thing going with that organization and Ben Roethlisberger, and he's going to throw it all away for whatever reason. Well, here he was interviewed by ESPN reporter the other day at a sit-down interview at his home. And this was like something out of like the Michael Jackson page. Take a listen.
I don't want, bro. I don't even need the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to prove nothing to anyone. If they want to play, they're gonna play by my rules. If not, I don't need to play.
You want the game now?
No, I don't. I mean,
okay?
obviously I want the game, but I don't need the game. It's a different. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to play for no one. Like, I'm happy. You see this? It's paid off cash. I don't owe no one. I'm a millionaire, bro. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I don't have to prove no one anything. You know what I mean? Like, I never quit and miss a game ever. I check my record. They know my background. But that's what the NFL is an organization. Organizations can create narratives and lower your value based on your position, but you can't lower my value. I'm Antonio Brown. I come from somewhere. I stand for something. I showed you. You know what I mean? If someone don't believe that, perfect. Don't call me. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm perfectly fine walking away fully healthy or whatever. So if you ain't got the demands to meet the demands, make it move. I'm not just a young player searching for something to make a difference. I already made a difference. The Steelers probably gave me 5 contracts, including extensions, almost $100 million and change. I'm $30 million up cash. Like, what do you want to tell me? It don't matter. I don't even have to play. My dad was great. If I retire right now, I think I'm great.
What was that? What was that all about for Antonio Brown?
Okay.
That kids don't do drugs. I mean, don't do drugs. Just say no. My goodness.
You know, it's one thing to have those opinions and be cleaned up and looking like a businessman, but to have your mustache all bleached blonde, you got these little things in your hair. You know, it's kind of like my kids. You know, I don't mind the tattoos. I got 2 kids with tattoos and 2 without. I don't mind the tattoos. I don't mind the earrings. I don't mind any of that stuff. But don't wear your pants down around your knees and dirty shoes, dirty T-shirt, and then go and think you're going to get a job like that. You're not. I mean, you can have all that stuff and be neat, and it works in today's society. But when you're asking to be paid at higher than any quarterback has ever been, because that's what he's saying. He's saying, I'm a wide receiver, but don't label me. I'm Antonio Brown. I should be paid what I think I'm worth, which means don't label me as a wide receiver. Don't pay me as a wide receiver, but pay me as what I want.
If you're a team,
but you can't look like that and do that.
Dude, you can't have that interview.
No,
that was bizarre.
he looks crazy.
That was weird. Like, if I'm a team, I'm running for the hills. Is it how
Absolutely.
can any team
won't?
We'll look at that interview and go, you know what? Let's give them $15 million.
But see, he's saying I don't care, but he does care.
He does care. Man.
Absolutely, because I always say something's better than nothing.
Obviously, he does not listen to agents. He doesn't have anybody around him he takes advice from, because the way he's handled this with Pittsburgh and then that interview. Like, that interview was scheduled because he thought it was going to do some good. It was going to shed some light. It was going to explain his side. And
some people are thinking this is great for him.
No way.
Like, if you go,
you can't be thinking
Ronnie, I swear to God, it's incredible. Go on Twitter, and there's
idiots,
a group of people.
There's none of the 32 owners or GMs think that's a good move.
No, but hey, one thing before we
got 10 seconds.
Oh, well, then let's get out of here.
He's Joel Davis. Hold that thought to next week.
No,
Sports Shorts,
I won't be here.
Presented by LeBears. We'll be back next week. Have a good week, everybody.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess. And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.